told you time and time again.
Swing down, sweet stereo, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet cherry, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet cherry, stop and let me ride. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Oh boy. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You low down, dirty motherfuckers. What's happening, you low down, dirty bitch? Bitch! Bitch! Just so y'all know, y'all in the right place. When you hear cursing, yep, you're in the right place. Bitch! Fuck you! Son of a bitch! So y'all know y'all in the right place when you start hitting cursing. Bitch! Bitch! What's happening? What's happening? Marie? You gotta say it like the country nigga from Georgia, from Atlanta. They don't know how to pronounce shit. So they be like, oh, hell no, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Marie. Do y'all motherfuckers know it's a C and an E and it's not Marie? It's not Marie. It's a C and an E. Pronounce, motherfucker. Pronounce. John, hey. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better. Oh boy, so we got an action pack day. It's Mern Day. It's Mern Day. It's gonna be a good day. Today was a good day. So we got a few topics on here. And there's some bitch. We got some bitch. We got a few of them. So let me do this right quick. Let me ride, hell yeah, sweet. Swing down, sweet cherry, stop and let me ride. So we got quite a few things in here gonna get to. So if y'all don't hear me breathe, it's probably because we got a lot of stuff. Let me get this in. You know, I was gonna do it another way, but since it's I want to do it chained on the fly. I was gonna go out, but I'm gonna do it like this. All right, so we're hearing, as you can see on the screen, you can see that the NFL we're hearing rumors around the league right now that Kyler Murray is headed to the Jets. It seems like the Jets are really interested in Kyler Murray. The rumor to compound to go with that is that Justin Fields is expected to be released by the New York Jets, and they for sure may be bringing in Kyler Murray. I think, to be honest, As far as the injury is concerned, like, is it a concern? Absolutely. Can Kyler Murray be a very a pretty good quarterback? I think he can. I mean, he can put up some numbers. I don't think there's a doubt in that regard. But I think one of the things with Kyler Murray is that he is expected to, he's expected to get hurt every pretty much every day a week. So that's the thing with going on with Kyler Murray. But if I'm the Jets, it's a move that I would be willing to make, considering how they have they've been at quarterback position. They've been pretty bad. So that's one thing. You can kind of throw in there. Like I said, they are expected to release. Like I said, there's just rumors out here. We'll see what happens when everything comes. But it does make a lot of sense with Kyler Murray. In regard to Justin Fields, I know a lot of people are going to be asking that. Y'all can stay tuned for us tonight on the we're gonna stay tuned for that. For the originators, I will give my opinion, or I might just give my opinion on Justin Fields and whether or not the Falcons should take him and bring him in for maybe a couple of draft picks, 7th-round pick. I don't know, to kind of help avoid free agency. Maybe, maybe not. But that's something that you could consider in that regard. But Kyler Murray is expected to be there. Also, before I get to this one right here, we are reporting out of the NFL right now that your boy David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, that duo is done. No more Sonic and Knuckles in Detroit. The Lions are trading David Montgomery to the Texans for 5th-round pick. We're gonna talk about them. I want to talk about them Texans, which is interesting enough. But we are seeing that David Montgomery has been traded to the Texans. And like I said, maybe they're going with a younger back in free agency. Maybe they bring somebody in like a Tyler Algier. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see, because I'm doubting that, because you got a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs that expected to get some big time money, and I think they'll probably end up going younger. It just makes sense, a younger power back in that regard. But as you see on the screen, the Texans and the Browns have agreed to terms to trade and to send the starting right tackle Titus Howard to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Howard gets a 3-year, $60 million extension, and a deal done by his agency of first-round management. We also have this, what the big extensions. They're pretty much kind of, shoring up some space, because you got guys like Will Anderson that are expected to receive big time money. And like I said, that's one of the things with having these star players you want to build around. Yeah, you want to build around these guys, but money becomes an issue. And me personally, I don't think this is a good idea, but we'll see. Where are you trading away offensive linemen in favor of giving guys extension? Like I said, I don't necessarily like it. I don't think it's a smart idea for Texans, but we'll see. They also dealt, as you know, Cam Robinson. He was another one of those guys that were traded with them. They kept at the bottom. It said Cam Robinson to the Browns in 25, and now they trade another tackle to Titus Howard. So they got both of these guys. The Browns do, and in that aspect. And then you have a little bit more on this situation. So he's 29, got some miles on him, and he started all 16 games for him in the past 2 years. And like I said, he's a valuable tackle for them. Like I said, I don't like it. like I said, that's just me. That's my thing. And the Browns traded. I like the Browns got by 15 damn quarterbacks, but the Browns traded Kenny Pickett to the Raiders for a 5th-round pick last year and are now using the same pick to acquire Titus Howard. And we're gonna get to that other part of the reason why I said that, because they're expecting. I'm hearing rumors that Dylan Gabriel, as if somebody probably knew, was the Browns quarterback last year before I believe it was concussion issues, and they end up starting Shador Sanders. But the thing with the Browns there, they're also expecting your boy Deshaun Watson to come back from his torn Achilles and to be the starter. And I honestly believe that's what the Browns are going to do, and bringing in offensive linemen like these. Like I said, I don't necessarily like it for the Texans, but the Browns, they're upgrading their offensive line with the with their head coach and Todd Monken. Todd Monken is definitely a pretty good offensive mind. What he did with Mr. Lamar Jackson there, pretty good offense for the most part. I think they was ranked number 1, number 2, pretty much all year. So we'll see how that goes. But they're getting offensive linemen. I think that's a smart thing to do for them. And the Chiefs are releasing, as you probably heard a few. I think it was last week, but they are releasing Jawan Taylor, creating space, about $27 million. He was due $27 million, but I think he's gonna leave them with about $22 million, somewhere about $20 to $22 million in cap space for the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're hearing a lot of people are saying that a guy like Tyler Algier can end up with the Chiefs. We're also hearing too, I hear some whispers that the Chiefs might be into a guy like Kenny Walker. And I think that'll probably be really interesting to see the Chiefs bring in a running back to kind of look. I like the running back, but like having a Kenny Walker, I'm not sure if it's the system in Seattle. I think he's a pretty good back. He was a backup for the most part. You got Charbonnet. I mean, him and Charbonnet, excuse me, were kind of sharing carries there. So don't know what it's going to look like, but if it's anything to where we saw with in the Super Bowl, we'll see. But you're hearing that Seattle, they could be looking, and they are looking to sell the team for about $3 billion or whatever the hell the number is. But Kenny Walker is one of those guys that you could be looking at, follow the Chiefs as well. And here we go about $20 million in cap space. So let's get to this Falcon stuff real quick. Kind of why I wanted to speak on this is because I don't know how to hear Cosalanga, Mike Cosalanga. What do you think of the Falcons drafting Sadiq, the speedy tight end? And I know somebody in this chat will probably like that. Sadiq from Oregon. Hint, hint. The tight end from Oregon. He beat Bijan's 40 time at the combine. Receivers a need, but Stefanski could use him. And the 12 and 13 personnel, Cleveland was in 12 exclusively last season with Njoku and Fannin. Then you have 2 tight ends with the receiver speed on the field with London and another receiver to be named later. So essentially what he's acting is Sadiq. And I did a few breakdowns with him, and I did see a few breakdowns with him. I mean breakdowns, but I did a breakdown with him, and we have a guy like that in Kyle Pitts. So going after, and I think having a guy like Kyle Pitts, the Falcons tagged him. Um, there are whispers out there as far as Kyle Pitts is concerned that the Falcons could use that as trade bait. We'll see. Don't think it'll happen, but we can use that this season. I don't think the Falcons are going to take that chance of trading a Kyle Pitts. To be honest, I personally don't think they're going to take that. They're going to keep him and drafting a guy like Sadiq. He's kind of like a lot like Kyle Pitts. If I'm going to make a comparison to what Sadiq is, what he is, he's probably a Kyle Pitts, a more physical Kyle Pitts, is what I'm saying. I think obviously with college and NFL, I don't necessarily know if he's going to be a better blocker. I haven't seen a lot of that in Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq. I didn't see a lot of blocking that kind of. So if the Falcons were to draft him, a team were to draft him, like I said, love obviously his 40 time is pretty damn good, but like he's a fast guy that can get down the field. You can play him out wide, you can play him in the middle of the field. Like he's big, he's physical. And like I said, it reminds me of slightly more physical. And like I said, and that's even the question because I don't think people realize how strong and fast and big and physical Kyle Pitts really is. So I kind of see it as a different type of explosiveness. He doesn't necessarily have that explosiveness that Kyle Pitts. Like I said, Kyle Pitts is a fucking freak with his explosiveness when he gets in the middle of the field. He just turned into an animal when he's in the open field. And that like I did not see that in Sadiq, but he got a different type of speed. But I do like him as a possible third and fourth round if he gets that far with him. So I do like Sadiq for what I saw. So that's a very good take there. But yeah, I expect the Falcons to pick up another tight end, maybe in free agency, but maybe in the draft. Being that you do have a Kyle Pitts there. But like I said, prepare yourself to see a lot of 12, 13, a lot of pistols, a lot of spread, especially with Tommy Reese and what we've seen with that so far. What I've heard from Tommy Reese, interviewing a lot of the prospects and whatnot, they're saying they listen, they really love the prospects, saying they really love what they're seeing out of Tommy Reese and what they've seen out of Tommy Reese going back to college. And they're saying that he knows how to utilize his players. And that right there is something that really stands out to me. So when you got a lot of young players and a lot of players in its entirety, they're already having high takes on them. Yeah, the Falcons offense maybe a little bit more exciting than what a lot of people think. Yeah, we're going to use a lot of 12 and 13 personnel to for protection purposes and running the ball. But don't be surprised the Atlanta Falcons use a lot of different things that we probably did not see last year in regards to their formations and formation consistency. And yeah, I just made that right up on the spot. Ski asks about Michael Penix Jr. Do you think Michael Penix Jr. should get competition at the starting position? And I highlighted this because not because necessarily the question, but what I've been seeing with this. Okay. Everybody see this as competition. Okay. Everybody see this as competition. Yeah, I know you would love that, John. But he does remind me of a lot of Kyle Pitts. I don't know if it's the physical difference, but like he reminds me of his game of a lot like Kyle Pitts. You can move him inside, outside, and all over the place. So I do like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Atlanta Falcons drafted him, to be honest. But I do like what I saw from him. Very explosive. I think it'll be. I think it'll probably be like that tight end duo and with the Rams, but with the Ravens with Andrews and Likely there. But you really have to keep an eye on both guys. So I do like that with Kyle Pitts. But getting back to what I was saying about Michael Penix and people talking about competition, I think we're looking at things the wrong way. It's not about competition, y'all. Okay? Not about competition. Bringing guys in that can play ball. It's not about competition. A lot of times we look at it as though, and players look at it because a lot of times they don't want to lose their freaking job. Okay? They don't want to lose their job, so they have, guys coming in talking about they want to, they want to, they want guys in to replace this guy. And I don't think this is one of those instances where the Falcons are looking to replace Mike. The thing is about, for one, you always have to have you got to have a backup plan. No team in the NFL, like you got teams out there that got bad quarterbacks, but at some point, once you get a quarterback that you can depend on, you got to bring in another guy that can at least manage the offense until the other guy gets healthy. You never want to be, you never want to be in a position where you got to bring in anybody and you end up looking like the damn Jets for 30 years. So I don't think it's one of them situations where the Atlanta Falcons are looking to replace or bring in competition. It's not about competition, especially when you got a guy that's had injuries. It's like once your quarterback has an injury, they're not looking to replace him. Okay? The Atlanta Falcons, I can go back and tell you about the times with Michael Vick. The Falcons weren't trying to replace Michael Vick, but they needed a quarterback that they can depend on and they can develop the proper way because Mike Vick kept getting injured. It wasn't about him replacing him. You got to have a guy that you can come in and be an adequate starter for the Atlanta Falcons to make sure that the Falcons could do one thing, is come down to win. So this is not about Michael Penix replacing him, bringing in competition. It's not about like that. And this is why I hate statements like that from Kirk Cousins when he's talking about, he read Drew Brees' book and Drew Brees told him not to teach other quarterbacks at his position and all that type of shit. Like at the end of the day, the NFL is the NFL. The NFL is the NFL. And to be honest, if you one of those quarterbacks that does not an organization, you got a quarterback that you can't really depend on because he has had those injuries. I won't say depend on, but you got those quarterbacks that you can, you have to have a backup plan because there's always the potential that these guys can get hurt. Guys like a Matthew Stafford at some point in his career. A lot of injuries. Joe Flacco, a lot of these guys had a lot of injuries. And you got to use these guys. You got to put these guys in there. You got to bring in a quarterback that can actually run the offense and fix the scheme properly. So this is not about Michael Penix replacing Michael Penix in any way, shape, or form. But you got all these stupid fucking morons that call themselves Falcon content creators. They say stupid shit about we got to bring in this guy and that guy to replace Michael Penix because he can't hurt. Again, y'all got all these fucking ideas, but nobody has any answers. Okay? Who's out there? Who's out there to replace him? Who you going to draft? Who you going to trade for? That you can legitimately say, yeah, I want this guy to represent my organization, because we hearing stuff like Justin Fields, we hearing Jacoby Brissett, We had all these other guys. Russell Wilson, all these guys got question marks. It's Russell Wilson over the hill, probably so. It's Jacoby Brissett. You talk about a statue. Like, Jacoby Brissett ain't really the fleet of the foot himself. So he's another one of those guys. Joe Flacco, obviously he's up in age and he doesn't have and never really had the athleticism. It's like, how many guys out here in the draft that you willing? Like, who the hell? This is literally one of the first one of the first NFL combines where nobody's talking about a quarterback. Nobody gives a damn about the combine right now. Okay? Ain't nobody. I don't have too many people that are going out of their way and asking Mad Mike 15 questions about a quarterback. Nobody. I haven't got one question about a quarterback in the combine. That's unusual for me. This is how bad the quarterback position is in college, right? It's that bad. We're up here talking about Ty Simpson being the potential first-round pick. Let me say that again. We're up here talking about Ty Simpson being a first-round pick. Did y'all see that dude? Have y'all seen him play? Is he pure trash? I wouldn't necessarily say pure trash, but that dude ain't got nowhere. In my opinion, he got nowhere. He got no business anywhere near the first round. Nowhere. But we talking about these guys. Well, you up here talking about these guys, the Falcons getting rid of Michael Penix like they already got an answer for it. Where's the answer? Who are we drafting? Who are we signing? Because nobody wants nobody. Nobody wants the names that we throwing out there as if we already have an answer for it. You want to pay Malik Willis $40 million to have him come in? After we already we're about to cut Kirk Cousins. He's as good as gone. So you want to come in right after Kirk Cousins got cut. You want to sign on Malik Willis and pay him $30, $40 million? Y'all ready to do that? I would much rather use a mid-round picks to get one of these quarterbacks and develop them than do any, to get rid of. That's crazy. So my thing is, again, that's we got to be honest about things. Okay? We got to be honest about it. Like I said, Ty Simpson, I was not impressed by what I saw him in college. I thought it was a system. I thought it was a scheme. Wasn't impressed about what I saw, especially a guy that under pressure. Yeah, he didn't look too good under pressure for me. Nah, I don't know where you got that from. My thing is, again, the way, who are you going to get? I think I heard one quarterback, Scotty. I heard one quarterback, and the quarterback that I heard from in this combine was literally Carson Beck. And I saw him throw the ball down the field, but I know what Carson Beck can do. He can do that. I obviously playing at Georgia and Miami, we've seen what he can do, but he's the only quarterback that they even talking about. Nobody's even giving a damn about Mendoza. I mean, yeah, it's because he's not there at the combine, but Nobody really cares. I know that availability is utmost important, but Penix was coming out this year. I think he would be better than all the options available in this draft, barring his current. Like I said, it's still that's the quarterback position has been neglected for so many years. This is why you're seeing so many quarterbacks. There's never been a year, especially in the last 20 to 25 years, where you didn't have a good quarterback coming out. That I could remember, it was always one quarterback, a handful of quarterback that you can say, yeah, I see your talent. Now we don't look, we're looking at running backs and wide receivers more than we're looking at quarterbacks. That says everything about this draft and the development of the quarterback position than anything. Just look how Tua played on our field last season with a swollen eye. That brother went all for on our defense. And like I said, the thing is, people are saying no to Tua. People saying no. Everybody's saying no to everything, but nobody has it. Like they saying no to Tua. They're saying no to Kyler. They're saying no to Justin Fields. They're saying no to Penix. Like everybody think we just gonna get this magical pill and everything is gonna be okay. There's no magical pill for this. There's no magical pill that's going to make these quarterbacks better. And I think that's the thing. Everybody's saying no to Michael Penix, but when you throw in guys like Tua, yeah, y'all don't think Tua is capable of managing an offense? You know, if he's healthy. And the thing is, you bringing these guys in a lot of, like in the Falcons case, you're bringing these guys as backups. These guys aren't going to be expected to be the quarterback for 5 and 10 years. I mean, the thing is, there's so much more, and this is where I fault ESPN because even in the highlights of Carson Beck, they just show him throwing the ball deep. Like Carson Beck is one of the quarterback. He'll get you 3 touchdowns and then give you 3, 4, 5 straight games of 4 interceptions. That's not the making of a really good quarterback. That's a making of a bum ass quarterback that's gonna get his ass tore up in the NFL. That's what the fuck that is. He's not even gonna get an opportunity to be a starter in the NFL with what the fuck he was doing in college. That shit is not gonna cut it. If you're playing like that in college, Carson Beck is to be. Look, I'm telling you right now, Carson Beck is going to be a bum ass quarterback. He get to the NFL doing the same shit that he was doing in college. That dude gonna be trash in the NFL. They're not even going to give him an opportunity. Nobody cares about you being able to throw the ball deep. Nobody cares about that. There's a lot of bum quarterbacks in. Now I'm looking at Fernando Mendoza doing the film work on him. I see so many red flags. I don't even think he's a first 25 pick. I wouldn't even touch Fernando Mendoza in the first 25 picks in the NFL. I am not blown away with anybody in this draft. It's that bad. He's late on sideline throws a lot. Fernando Mendoza. A lot. And you late on the sideline pick in the NFL with these DBs and the way the defenses are, nah, bro. Ain't cutting it. I see the potential for Fernando. Just looking at him, from what I see a major bust written all over him in regards to him being a megastar. Don't see him being a megastar. Can it be a quarterback in the right system that can just manage things? Yes, I do see that. For a franchise like the Raiders to be manageable, like a David Carr, I can see that, but I don't see superstar written over Mendoza. Like I said, too many late throws on the sidelines in the NFL. That ain't good, bro. And like I said, I looked at a handful of quarterbacks right now. And like I said, nothing is sticking out to me. I just see a bunch of guys and systems that were catered to the offensive coordinator. You probably don't even know what I mean by that. I saw a handful of quarterbacks that were catered to the offensive coordinator. A lot of these guys were being babied. You just ran a handful of plays that they were good at, and that was it. Told them don't do too much and use your legs. That right there is catered to the offensive coordinators. You're not pushing these guys to actually be good quarterbacks and leaders on the field. Like it's been that bad looking at quarterbacks. I've like this is the longest I've gone. I normally do quarterbacks in December, but the list that I had and the quarterback that I've seen, the only two quarterbacks that I'm really looking forward to is Haynes King. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm getting him. At least I know that he can damn take a hit. Like a lot of these quarterbacks are not even getting hit because you're getting the ball out of their hands in almost 2 seconds. Hint, hint. Anybody know what that means? Getting the ball out of the quarterback hand in 2 seconds. RPO, 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 RPO has ruined the quarterback position. This is why they dumbass. This is why you see all these stupid ass quarterbacks transferring every fucking year to get a paycheck because y'all created a fucking system in the NFL, in college football. Y'all created a fucking stupid ass system to manipulate and make quarterbacks look better than what they are, and then they go to other teams, and the teams end up figuring out who the quarterback is, and guess what? He transferred again because he can get more money out of NIL. This RPO has ruined football in its entirety. You make these quarterbacks' life so much easier because you, as an offensive coordinator, you want to manipulate and call all the plays and not push these quarterbacks to actually be good thinkers and leaders on the field. Half of these quarterbacks can't even call an audible because they're looking on the sideline, the goddamn Daffy Duck and car signs and shit on the sideline instead of looking at and having hand signals and doing all these types of things on the field. We don't even see quarterbacks with hand signals. They looking at fucking signs with Daffy Duck and shit. What rainbows? Like you got the offensive court, and you got a group of guys that's holding rainbows up and goofy ass signs and stuff on, and you wondering why the quarterback in the NFL class, the quarterback class, look like shit. All these, I don't give a damn who. Y'all can keep naming them. All these guys just got good skills. They look good throwing the ball deep, and they can run fast. You see how good a quarterback is when you're playing in an NFL physical style of the. You don't see how good these quarterbacks really are when they running RPO and running and throwing and running spread offenses. You don't see their true skill. Every quarterback y'all have named run the exact same scheme. They get the ball out of their hands and run a screen and throw the ball to the sideline to somebody because the defensive back is playing 5-10 yards off, and the quarterback sees it, so they throw the ball out of his hand, make the quarterback look like he's much better than what he is. That shit is bum. That's some bum ass shit. I guarantee if you look at half the damn quarterbacks in the league in college football in the draft right now, you see them throwing the same shit. Quick outs because the damn DBs are playing 15 yards off. I guarantee you the first 5 to 10 throws you see those guys, exactly those routes. You're not pushing these guys. They're not running drag routes over the middle like real NFL concept. They're not doing any of that. They're throwing half screens and then let the athlete do athlete so the offensive coordinator look a whole lot better than what he is and the quarterback look a whole lot better than he is. I know. These quarterbacks are damn god awful. So when I hear people say that Michael Penix isn't good and we should be thinking about Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson ain't changed his game in 10 years. All that motherfucker do is run sideways right, then run backwards to escape, and then wonder why his knees hurt and why he get to the playoffs and teams don't worry about nothing but stopping the run. Because they know they ain't got to worry about Lamar. Lamar is not going to win the game with his arm. They know that. It's a reason for that. Lamar Jackson, this RPO spread offense bullshit has ruined the NFL. This is why Lamar Jackson cannot win. Y'all can say whatever the fuck you want because I saw the same thing with Todd Monken at Georgia. It makes the quarterback look a whole lot better than what he is. They tell him to run, nigga, run, 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 run. This is why they were saying shit like, man, Stet Coivius is a real good quarterback. No, he not. No, he not. Not a good quarterback. Let me ask y'all a question. If he's a good quarterback, why is guys like Tyler Badgett is up in the rumor mill as teams that are looking for? If he was that valuable as a quarterback, why haven't other teams looked at that game in the preseason where they keep bringing up the Buck Blues of the world, keep bringing up that bullshit 300 game in a preseason game? You bring that bullshit up. Why haven't other teams taken notice? The Buck Blues of the world got Georgia symbols tatted on every part of their body, especially their butthole, okay? They got Georgia tatted all on their buttholes. So many Georgia fucking markings. I'm a Georgia fan, so I know a Georgia mark when I see it. Y'all will put a Georgia symbol on your butthole, okay? Your forehead, your earlobe, your nipples, every damn thing. Y'all are so much of a mark for Georgia, it's sickening. If these guys were as good as, why haven't other teams taken notice to it? Why aren't other guys talking about, man, we got to trade for this Stetson Bennett? But I keep hearing bullshit from guys that's supposed to be respected football players. Like, you're supposed to be a respected football guy, but you up here telling people that we need to trade for Stetson Bennett. The fuck out of here. For what? So he can drunk and so he can get drunk, because that's what fucking Georgia boys do. Get arrested and get drunk. I am not down. Why I ain't. I'm telling the truth about Georgia. When the last time you heard anything outside of my conky? Okay, because that's my conky. When the last time you heard anything? When the time you heard anything outside of Brock? Big cock Brock, huh? When the last time you heard anything about, because Jalen Carter, all he doing is spitting on folks and getting in fights. Outside of those four guys, 4-5 guys. Like, it's just a handful of guys in the NFL with Georgia. Like, these guys come from the same era. Okay? So it says more about that than anything. Like, these guys ain't good, bro. The big slobs up there in Philadelphia, those guys doing well, but like the corners, the linebackers, like now we got people, man, we need to go get in the Kobe Dean. For what? Philadelphia don't even want him. For what? Philadelphia don't even want him. He ain't been good. He ain't been consistent. We tore his ass up when we played Philadelphia. That ain't even true. The Kobe Dean be win. You think Philadelphia gonna let a perfectly good linebacker walk away for nothing? You think they gonna let Nakobe Dean walk for nothing? When they trying to trade away AJ, and it seems like Smith, I seen something about Smith, could be out. But I doubt that. But like, they trying to trade away Philly, like they giving away talent. And we trying to pick it up like they fucking a gourmet meal. They serving us goddamn lobster on a trash can lid, and we trying to eat the shit. This is what Falcons fans do. They serve us some lobster on a motherfucking trash can lid and think we supposed to be happy about it. I don't want no Kobe Dean. The dude had problems with injuries at Georgia. So no. It's only a handful of guys, like I said, especially guys that I like. Zachariah Branch is one of those guys. You know, and like I said, I'm not saying that Georgia doesn't have Alabama. All these guys have those, but we got to stop with this love scene with Georgia. These guys aren't good, okay? Our love for Georgia is not going to make them good, okay? And like I said, man, I'm a CJ Daniels. Who the hell is CJ Daniels? Okay. Well, I'll say this, okay? That's all cute. Like I said, man, look. No, I know who you're talking about. I just had a brain fart. But there's a million guys in the NFL draft right now that's just like him. some million guys in the NFL that's just like him. Like I said, we're gonna do more players on the heavy hitters. No, looking at like I said, what I've seen him, he just remind me too much of that Smith dude in Philadelphia. Too light in the ass for me, to be honest. I don't like his game. He got a light game. I don't like that. You can people can be super athletic, but his game is too light in the ass for me. Like I like physical wide receivers. I like physical receivers. I like physical receivers and guys that could do a multitude of things. Because we've seen that the Calvin Ridley is way too much. I don't want my wide receiver to be one dimensional. And like I said, looking at him, yeah, he too light in the ass for me. Super athletic, make some good catches, great catches, exciting catches here and there. But this offense with the Atlanta Falcons gonna be one of them offenses where you gotta play your role and be physical. This is gonna be a physical offense. You're gonna have some. You definitely gonna have some athletes. Not saying that, but like it's a bunch of guys in the draft right now who just like him. Like I don't know if Zachariah Branch is gonna last in the second round, but if he's around there, I think you really got to look at. You got to look at, like I said, it's a bunch of wide receivers in there like that with him. So, like I said, not necessarily picking on him, but you can get another one of those guys in there. And I think what the Falcons and what they're going to do, I think they're going to invest in offensive linemen and I think they'll probably invest in offensive linemen in free agency, and they'll start going after a few guys in the draft at receiver and tight end, running back also, because I personally don't think Tyler Algier is going to be back. Um, I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion that backups are not respected in the NFL like that. Right? Being that the Lions have traded away David Montgomery, like they don't really respect running backs. So if you a Bijan Robinson or Jameer Gibbs, like they're gonna put their money behind them. You have very few teams that's gonna put money into two running backs. So I think the Falcons are gonna end up drafting a young guy to go along with Bijan Robinson. Tight end. You already got Drake. You got Kyle Pitts coming back, barring the trade. And you can add a few speed receivers in the NFL that's already in the NFL. You can add those couple of undrafted free agents coming out of college, speedsters. Like you can do that. So like I said, don't think Tyler Algier is going to be back. But I do think the Falcons are going to upgrade this wide receiver core. I do believe that. Don't know what's going to happen with, Darnell Mooney. We'll see. As I think we're 13, 14 days away, 14 days. What day is the second or the first? Second. So we're like 12 days away from 13 days away from free agency already. So at any given point, we're going to start seeing more and more news, whether it's a trade, or somebody be cut. We're going to start hearing a lot more. We're already kind of seeing it now. But like I said, I don't have a problem. I just have a major problem with Mooney getting paid $15 million. Like, nah, bro. You gotta go. I'm not paying you that much money for you to have 30 catches on the season. Like, I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care if you hurt. I do not care. You gon' look, your ass gon' look for this $14 million. You gonna catch more than 14, 30 passes on a year. I don't give a fuck your leg, toenail falling off or not. Your ass better be catching more. You better be catching 60 passes. If I'm paying you 14 to $16 million, your ass, look, I don't give a fuck your toenails. You ain't got but 3 toes. You gonna get on this motherfucker. You're going to get on this motherfucker, and you gonna earn that 14 million. Fuck that. But like I said, the thing is, you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan at the end of the day. You can't assume guys are just gonna get in here and you know, yeah, you can't just assume these guys gonna end up. But like I said, man, we're gonna be going on tonight. We're gonna throw some wrestling in there tonight too. Conversation, probably do some recap on the Elimination Chamber, where it's going there from WrestleMania month. Like I said, it's a lot. It's look, man. I tell people all the time, don't get caught up in the the early round drafts. The draft really gets started when they get outside of the second round, in my opinion. That's when all the good players, the foundation of the NFL, that's where things come in hand. It's the foundation of the NFL. And that's from the third round to the seventh round. That's the foundation. So I would not get caught up in the first round. Obviously, for this reason, we know why, because we don't have a first round pick. But I wouldn't get caught up in the second. Look, I would advise Falcon fans, prepare for the Atlanta Falcons to trade that second round pick too, to get more picks. So we may not see picks in the first 60 to 70, and I'll say 50 to be caught, kind of be safe. So I think the first 50 picks, don't expect the Atlanta Falcons to draft. Don't do it to yourself. Prepare yourself not to see the Falcons drafting in the first 50 picks. Okay? Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for that. Don't get happy. I think the Falcons are going in for 27, 28. So do not prepare yourself to see a lot of draft picks for the Falcons, barring any trade. So that's all I got to say about that. We're going to be going live at 8 o'clock. The originators, head over to the heavy hitters. Like I said, we're going to break down another prospect, a wide receiver. A wide receiver. So go over to the Heavy Hitters Live channel. Hit that subscribe button. We got more coming for you. And that right there is the bottom line. Because man, Mike said so. Peace.
Paying three people. He paying half the participants in the match. Like, I didn't like how they handled Javon. Really didn't get to do anything in the match. I knew he wasn't gonna last long, but they could at least. That
Put your eyes back in your head.
Knocked out like flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.